What's going on, everyone? This is Smitty here, and this video, continuing the feedback series, the Madden feedback series here, and in this one, we're talking about the defensive zone play. Okay, now we all know what was said originally in regards of player sense. How defenders are supposed to see what's going on in front of them and diagnose it accordingly and then react to it. And now, as we've seen, from the gameplay videos and everything that's been out there, they don't exactly do that, but they do react better to the pass play. And this is an example of it right here. Um, Now, like I said, there's some good on this play, but there's also something bad in this play as well that I definitely want to point out. Now, as Manning goes to throw the ball, you've seen how Mathis didn't, like, he's playing a zone here clearly, but you've seen how the movement he stayed moving. You know what I mean? He just didn't sit there and stay flat-footed, but he, like, as I have it more on his perspective here, you see how he starts to carry into his zone, and then he acknowledges the wide receiver, and then he gets into an adequate position, breaks on the ball after it's thrown, and then goes for the INT. Now, one thing I would like to see, especially on other kinds of plays, I would like to see the receiver try and do the exact same thing that the DB did, especially if it's a situation where they acknowledge that there's a defender there. Like, I would love to see Manningham break on the ball just like how Mathis did, and then try and attack it at the highest point. So in that way, it's more of a true battle for the possession. Now, I understand when it's a timing-based route, you just run the route and you're expecting the ball to be there. But, at times, there are going to be plays where the receiver's not going to see the DB to try and cut him off. But the one thing that we don't see in Madden at all right now is receivers trying to cut off the DB, and put themselves in a better position to try and attack the ball before the DB can get to it. So that's something that we definitely want to see. But I have another example here of Madden 15 when I'm talking about the zone play and their flat-footedness, and then I got a few examples of some past titles to show you guys. Alright, now in this next example here, this clip, what I'm talking about is the zone play in terms of how the flat-footedness is still present in the game here. And as you can see, as the play develops here, I got Pettigrew underneath, right? And now you have, I'm going to have the camera pan on to the defenders here, but there shouldn't be that much space. Like, I understand it's a zone, and he should be underneath and with the defenders over top to make the play. But in this kind of situation, they can afford to have one of the defenders play tighter on the ball. Like number 53 here, he should be playing even closer to Pettigrew, so if the ball were to be thrown to him, either he can slap it down or break it up either via tackle or possibly go for the pick. I would rather see that kind of situation because, like I said before, player sense, players need to be making a full diagnosis of what's going on the field according to what the offensive play call is. So if Pettigrew is standing there like that, 53 should be moving in closer in the event the ball is thrown his direction. But I'm going to showcase a few other titles here that have the zone play better, in my opinion, and where Madden definitely needs to get to. Alright, now I got some NFL 2K5 footage here, and now what I did was I had 5 wide with the receivers running their routes accordingly, going up against a dime formation, a cover 2 defense. Okay, cover 2 zone defense. So just wanted you guys to get a look at it here. Then, when the ball is snapped here, you're going to see how they play it accordingly. Now, you see, obviously, there's a lot more movement. Everybody's moving. Nobody is sitting still, essentially. Now, on the right-hand side, you see how it's played accordingly. Nobody just fell back. The only guys that should be falling back are the safeties, and which is what they did accordingly as they should. But Other than that, you see how everybody is dynamically playing the zone, how they're playing the receivers. You see how the two cornerbacks are playing on the left hand side there are playing well beyond their zones. Now, I would have liked it if the corner that was furthest from the left would have started to trail the receiver instead of just falling straight back. But nevertheless, though, that's the whole point. We need to see them play. We need to see them switch, like go from playing just strictly zone to like a man coverage based upon what the offense is giving you. Okay? And I'm going to showcase two more examples, one from APF, and then finally I'm going to end it with Backbreaker. Alright, now this next clip is from APF 2K8, and the roster that I have, the Lions roster, is from Darth Destro MD. I'm gonna definitely link to his site in the description, where he's got a bunch of classic rosters available for you to download for the 360 version, of course, for APF 2K8. But nevertheless, the point here is talking about the zone play, and now you see how the difference is from 2K5 to APF. There's not as much movement in terms of the zone play, but nevertheless, it's still the point of emphasis here. I'm playing, I have them playing a cover 2 zone defense, but yet they do shift some, but not as much as we want. And this is borderline like how it is in Madden. We want to see guys switch from playing a hybrid, like I said, going from zone to playing a man defensive coverage, according to what's going on the field here. So I'm going to end it with one more example here, and that's with Backbreaker, where I believe that they depict the dynamic transition between zone to man defense the best in the middle of a play. Alright guys, this is the last section of it here. It's talking about Backbreaker, of course. And before I get into this in full here, gotta shout out BB Resurrect, as these are his rosters, his international roster that he just put out not too long ago. Definitely check it out. I had some fun with it. But if you're not going to play Madden this year and you prefer to play Backbreaker, then most definitely check out his rosters. Now this is for 360 only, so check it out, give it a shot, if you like or what have you. Give them some good constructive feedback about it and everything. I enjoyed the few games I have played with it as well, so it's definitely a nice experience. But getting back to the point here, and like I said, I'll have the link for the rosters in the description as well as to his channel, so you guys could definitely sub to him. But the one thing I like is that, now first, the defensive play call is the cover 2 zone defense, Tampa 2. Okay, now this one aspect that I like about Backbreaker that's not in any other game is that your defense will line themselves up with what the offense is getting ready to give you, or at least what they're showing you prior to the snap. As you can see, both of my corners that would just be playing the flats on both sides of the field, they closed in prior to the snap. Now the key thing to look for here after the snap is number 42, because I'm controlling number 92. So I'm following the secondary receiver on the slant there. Number 29 is pretty much, he's playing his assignment as far as his zone is concerned. He's pretty much playing it to the assigned area that he's supposed to be covering. But look at number 42. Now the way he's playing the receiver here, you would have figured that it was a man defensive play call, just a man defense. And as we know, as we've seen, if it was in Madden or in APF, more than likely they would just be sticking to that one side of the field and not making any kind of shift, like you seen what 42 did. Like, you see how far he went across the field to cover his assignment. Like, he went from covering a zone to making it his duty to cover that receiver. And as you can see, as the play evolved here all the way through, like by the time the QB got sacked, this is another aspect of it that I want to see. as well. I definitely would love to see and need to see happen with Madden, because we need to see player sense fully evolve to what was described when they first announced that Ignite technology. Now, if the QB had got the pass off here, from where the three receivers are, you have a defender that's clearly in position to either knock the ball loose, possibly pick it off, or at least make the stop. And I mean, considering where the receivers are positioned, you have at least three defenders for each one of the receivers to possibly make the stop. And this is what I mean. The way it ended here, it doesn't look neat, it doesn't look organized, it doesn't look clean. It looks very like this doesn't look anything like a zone play. It looks like a man defensive play took place here for them, like I said, until you get deeper downfield there. But the bottom line here is this: Backbreaker had the most dynamic zone call, zone play, man defensive play in terms of how organic and dynamic it was. This game had a bunch of calculations per second. We need to see that stuff really build and flush out in Madden in terms of what they said with all the calculations, and also from what player sense was defined to us to be. Okay, so guys, leave your comments, leave your thoughts, concerns, all that stuff, ideas, suggestions, etc. in the comment section below, and I'll be back to you guys with more videos, as well as live streams as well. Alright guys, peace. Every Thursday night, tune in to the Sim Standard Radio Show featuring myself, Sim F-Ball Critic, and Azure Effect. The link is in the description to listen in, and to call in, the number is 914-338-0794.